This week on Steel Horse Thunder. This is an early morning. I don't do early mornings like I used to. It's a unique episode where we follow the Legacy Run. We follow them from start to finish.
So excited. I just want to do a dance. I'm so excited.
This is the most organized ride I've ever been on.
Then we talk to Steel Horse Thunder's very own Chris Krampe as he tells us about his long-distance ride.
You know, come up and take the time to look at your bike and compliment you on your bike and, you know, ask questions about it. And just the opportunity to get to go ride with him was just unreal.
He says I can't say anything good about him in public.
I have a reputation to uphold.
Hey, we're up here at the American Legion Post 64. Cindy, a lot of bikes here. What's going on?
This is the Legacy Ride. It's for scholarship funds, and people are here from everywhere.
Well, I'll tell you what, if they're from all over the states, let's go find some people, see what kind of accents we can come up with.
Yeah.
All right, Marty. On Steel Horse Thunder, we cover a lot of rides, but I don't know that I've ever covered anything quite like this before. Can you explain a little bit about what this ride is all about?
Indeed, this is the American Legion's Legacy Ride, and it came about in 2006 was our first year. And the purpose of this ride is to raise scholarship monies for the kids whose parents have died on active duty, not necessarily in combat, but on active duty since 9/11, 2001. And that's when the scholarship came into being, about 2 months after the attack on America in September of 2001. We realized that it wasn't going to be over real quick. And we knew that from past experience as a veterans organization that there were going to be kids without mothers and fathers due to their pledge of commitment to the American people to support them as a military person. So we put together the idea of the Legacy Run to raise money. In our first year, we rode to Salt Lake City, Utah. And we had about 140 so motorcycles leave right here, Post 64 in Indianapolis, and made it all the way out to Salt Lake City. And that year we raised about $300,000. Well, since then we've raised $6 million in the last 8 years. This will be ride number 9 if my math is correct. So the scholarship is up to probably, I believe, about $14 million. But the Legacy Run alone, the one event a year, has raised nearly half of that money for those kids.
All right. You do know there's some other rides that are closer to home than Jacksonville, Florida from Indianapolis, correct?
No, no, we didn't hear of them.
So you rode all the way up from Jacksonville to do this ride?
This ride, yes we did. This is a wonderful event.
So how long are you away from home?
About 8-9 days. Yeah.
That's usually kind of nice.
It is nice, it's great. Vacation.
How was the ride up?
It was beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
Yes. We stopped in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and stayed the night there, and then continued on. Made it up here in 2 days.
Very nice, but it was nice that you could split it up at least into 2 days. Some people would have taken a little longer to do that, but you know. Well, I'm glad you made the ride up here safely. I hope everything goes good with the group. Do you like riding in the big groups?
Oh yes, this one especially.
Yeah.
This is the most organized ride I've ever been on, ever.
Well, one of these years, maybe we can go with you guys and document the entire thing.
If you've never done it, you need to be it. You need to do it.
The ride itself, tell me about this ride, because I know you guys are going to be making several stops. It's going on for several days. I think it's like over 1,300 miles, or if I'm correct. It's just, like I said, something different, something totally different, and just could you explain to the audience a little bit of how this ride goes?
Yeah, the network that I just mentioned, the Post of the American Legion, we rely on the people in the communities through which we ride to help us at gassing and fueling our bikes, and providing dinners, lunches, and in fact, most of the dinners and lunches that we have will be put on by American Legion posts that we ride by or that are on our route. It's done for free. They ask for a donation. And what those people do, God bless them, they take the donations from these riders, turn around and give it to our national commander that goes into the scholarship. But for the ride itself, it's very, very well organized. We have one man that works on this all year round. It's got all kinds of help, but one person has the responsibility for doing that. But he relies on the volunteer leadership in each of the states along this route. And it's phenomenal what we do. As I said, we'll have gas folks helping us at fueling. And I think our record is 261 bikes in 29 minutes. That's something to think about. You have to see how it's done, and I don't want to go into it because it's very detailed, but every rider on this run is expected to know that procedure.
So we're here at the Legacy Ride. Can you tell me, is this your first ride that you've been on here at this Legacy Ride?
For the Legacy Ride, yeah.
I've done a lot of other, mostly the American Legion does charity rides to support veterans associations.
So are you part of the American Legion in your town?
Yeah, the Legions consist of regular Legion members, and then they have an auxiliary for the ladies, and then they also have Legion riders, and they also have Sons of the American Legion. So it's like 4 separate organizations all under the same charter, so to speak.
And do they all have like different, you said they have different charters, so do they have, did all those have motorcycle riders within each of those charters?
Not all of them, no. If a specific post wants to start a Legion rider chapter, what they do is they fill out some paperwork and get together some people who are crazy and want to go out and ride, and then they pretty much set up a schedule for the year. They hold their own meetings that are different from the regular Legion, and that's pretty much it.
So you guys came over from Missouri, and you're here on this ride. This is your first year?
Yes, it's my first year and I'm so excited.
So tell me, how does that feel for you? I know that you told me that it was your first year and you were very excited about it. Tell me about it.
So excited. I just want to do a dance. I'm so excited. And I couldn't hardly even sleep last night because I was so excited. I've never been to a single state that we've been to, that we're going to. I haven't been to any of those states. It's just amazing meeting all the people from everywhere. It's just exciting.
You understand that we're a national organization, national veterans organization, the American Legion. So we have posts all across the country. We have a terrific network. You know, I can pick up the phone and call people on the Pacific Coast, and I know them, and they can do things for the American Legion for us. And that's what we do. We encourage these people who are coming from all over. We have folks here from Hawaii, believe it or not, and they will have had their little runs at home before coming here, and they will bring money with them. And then each night we have at dinner or something, our national commander, Dan Dellinger, collects those monies. And they'll probably get $100,000 in here. I don't know what they got last night, but this morning, and then certainly the same thing again. And in each stop, we collect those monies. So I think the goal for this ride is about $450,000, and I'm sure we'll surpass it. We always have.
Wow.
Now you said you're from Missouri. Tell me about what you do in Missouri, because you said the overpasses on your ride was completely full of people. Tell me about that.
Last year, I was put in charge by my state director to take care of the welcoming committee for the Legacy Run when it entered the eastern part of Missouri. We broke it into 3 sections. I had from the Mississippi River to St. James, and for 2 months ahead of time, the 3 of us had worked together coordinating to make sure that every bridge and overpass had a fire truck with a huge flag on it. And then, of course, as you get the word out, just about anybody and everybody came out to welcome, because everybody wants to get behind this particular type of event. Like I said, the legacy is we're all about trying to make sure that they have scholarships for soldiers that have lost their life in this war on terror. And all I can say is we're going to make sure they get it.
And do you know how much they've raised? Because I know that you told me that they had raised a lot of money for those scholarships. Can you tell me how much that was?
So far this year, we are over $110,000 just at this, and we haven't even fired the bikes up and taken off yet.
I know you said you're from Maryland,
Right.
and you were close to something you told me. How do you say Baltimore?
Oh, well, normally it's everybody with any education is probably going to say Baltimore, but it's Balmer, Maryland.
Balmer,
Maryland, hon.
And how do you say hunt?
It's like honey, but you leave off the EY at the end, so it just hon.
That's too funny. I love the way you guys talk, though. It's pretty good.
I noticed everybody is in a meeting right now except for your group right here. Nobody's going to a meeting. What's going on? You guys already know what's going
We
on?
had our meeting. Yes.
You guys got together.
Game. Right on. We're seasoned.
And here I automatically looked and saw, look at these slackers. They're not even doing a meeting. They're not getting nothing. You guys were ahead of everybody else, aren't you?
They all think they know what they're doing.
Well, they got a woman here to keep them in line, right?
You know.
You're going to have a big line of bikes, and I know that's got to get challenging. Can you explain a little bit about the way you guys staged this so that way it does kind of help that?
We stage alphabetically, and right now I think we're back Alpha through Mike, A through M, somewhere around there. And each group has probably 30 riders in it. And the last group we put, which is a little bit contrary to most big bike runs, we put the trikes and the trailers in the rear so they don't slow down the entire group. But again, they have a road captain in that trikes and trailers outfit unit who knows the route and knows how to get the group through. But we stage them here on this parking lot, and as they pull out, they'll be pulling out, in order, in line, and they'll stay that way all the way through. They'll manage, or they'll maintain that 2-second interval between bikes as they go through, or go on the road. The groups themselves will stay 30, 40 yards behind the group in front of them. So it's always a safety factor that we're concerned about, and it's that traffic thing too. When you keep the groups apart a little bit, it gives the four-wheelers and the 18-wheelers a chance to get to where they need to get to.
So you told me that this American Legion was really amazing for you, that there was a lot of different things going on. Can you tell me about that?
Yes, and one thing is this post is huge. It's just beautiful. The bar area is huge and big. They had a live band. They had a bunch of raffles. They were raffling off a ZZ Top electric guitar. We got in on that, but we didn't win that, but we did win the $500 raffle, which we pretty excited about.
Just one last thing, if folks are interested in what's going on, they can follow us on Facebook with the Legacy Run. On the American Legion website, you can follow us there as well. There's stories posted daily. And then ultimately in National Convention, when we get there in Charlotte on Thursday of this week, they will make an announcement, and you can find out how much was donated to the Legacy Run for the scholarship, for the American Legion Legacy Scholarship.
Cool. All right, man. Thank you very much.
Scott, my pleasure. Thank you.
Hey, the Legacy Ride is taking off now, but we're going to stay in touch with them during the week and get a little bit of an idea of what they go through during the week on this ride down there. You got a pretty nice looking bike right here. It's definitely not a chick bike. Tell me a little bit about it.
It's a 2004 Kustom Road King, and it's definitely not a girly bike.
No, there's nothing girly about it at all. So how long have you been riding?
10 years.
What made you decide to get on a bike and start riding yourself?
Passion. Wind in my hair, freedom of the road. It was on my bucket list.
Well, and you kind of come across to me as the person that doesn't want to have to depend on a guy to ride her around.
Nope, I'm independent.
I kind of noticed that. So is this your first bike?
No, I had a 883 Sportster. That was my first bike, and I rode it for 3 years. It was too small for me, and I wanted a bigger bike. So I traded it in and got the biggest bike there was.
Well, oddly enough, I went from an 82 Sportster to a 2000 Road King, which I'm still riding today. So, do you have plans this year? Any kind of trips in mind, or?
No, just catch every ride I can possibly catch every weekend.
Now, is that the kind of riding you like to do? Do you like to do a lot of the charity rides and
Charity
stuff?
rides, yeah. I do a lot of charity rides. My mom died from brain cancer, so I like to do a lot of cancer rides, charity rides, anything for charities. So
that's what we like to hear. A lady with a big bike and a big heart to match.
Yeah. Well, I'm a nurse by trade, and so, I see a lot. So, I follow my heart.
Good for you. You keep following your heart, and I know you're going to have a lot of great, safe miles ahead of you.
Thank you.
Our prayers will be with you guys this week. It's going to be, I know, a little rainy around here. I don't know what the weather is across the country, but I think there's going to be scattered showers pretty much everywhere all week long.
Monday was a day I hadn't experienced in many years from the beginning of riding motorcycles. We left Pikeville, Kentucky, and went to Grundy, Virginia, and then went through West Virginia and back in, and rode into Danville, Virginia last night. The ride itself was treacherous. It was pouring rain for most of the day, and it really and truly was a difficult riding situation. But we got over 300 bikes through it. Everybody, even though they were wet, they're there for the cause, and the cause is, of course, to help the young men and women who have lost a father or mother after 9/11, and we're there for them. And then from there, we rode down through from Danville down to Winston-Salem to American Legion Post number 55, and enjoyed a great lunch here and great hospitality. After that, we got back on the bikes and rode down to State Line, or Stateville, excuse me, and went to Tally Harley-Davidson shop, where he gave us snacks and refreshments along the way, and then they rode into Gastonia here a couple minutes ago. I just left Dale Earnhardt Jr. Discussed about helping children and youth and what he does to encourage them. And now I'm going to go down on the field through the first pitch out for the American Legion World Series between Midland, Michigan, and Brook Lawn, New Jersey. And then I'll be back on the road tomorrow morning at 6:30 to meet up with the riders and continue our next 2 days. We raised about $197,000 going across the country, or across the from Indiana to this point, and hoping for a lot more. My goal is $450,000. Last year they raised $750,000, and I like to beat that, of course. I'm one of those overachievers, but I'm really looking forward to the donations, and hopefully people will continue to be generous. It's great. Well, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, we've got 3 days under our belts. We've got 2 more to go. Everybody's fit into the mode. You know, everybody's gotten in that same gear mode, and we know what to expect and what to do. So everything's cool, and everybody's in great spirits.
Hey, I'm here with Chris Krampe of Krambos Custom Colors. We got crazy money in front of us, got a lot of K's going on here. Chris, you just had the opportunity of a lifetime. You just hung out with some of the most popular and some of the best bike builders. Can you tell us a little bit about this Geico Hot Bike Tour?
Yeah, the Geico Hot Bike Tour ran last week. It was put on by Hot Bike Magazine, Baggers Magazine. They wanted to kind of prove to the public that these big wheel baggers and some of these hardcore choppers actually get ridden. So we rode 1,000 miles starting in Joplin, Missouri, and we did 5 different days in 5 different cities and ended up in the Wisconsin Dells.
So for you, you've been doing this for a while now. You're not a young man, but what was it like to be able to hang out with guys like Paul Yaffe and John Shope and some of these guys?
Yeah, to see them on television, you know, all the guys from the Biker Battleground were there. We rode with those guys every single day. Did breakfast, lunch, and dinner with them. They're all a great bunch of guys. They're all really close friends. I think editing does a lot for the television show. But yeah, they're a lot of fun. They love their fans. You know, we rode with Paul. Paul pretty much led the way with his little Bluetooth helmet to his phone for the road maps. But yeah, riding with Lynn Edmonds and Nick Trask on the turbo bikes, those things would absolutely fly. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. Every city was really nice, had a nice venue for us. They did a ride-in bike show every day, and then the public got to vote on the bikes. So at the end, they awarded the grand champion of the actual invited builders. So Crazy Money did take Editor's Choice in one of the cities, so I was happy for that. That was really nice.
I was gonna say, how is that for you to know that you built a bike so you could bring it out there and just kind of see how you measure up, see what other people think about your work, and to have some of those guys really take a look at it. And like you said, you won the Editor's Choice. I mean, that's got to be pretty cool.
Yeah, it was really nice. You know, to have those guys, you know, who, are the elite of the builders in the industry to, come up and take the time to look at your bike and compliment you on your bike and, ask questions about it. And just the opportunity to get to go ride with them was just unreal. I can't wait to do it again, that's for sure.
Well, hopefully we're going to go with you next time. I know I was fortunate enough to at least meet up with you out in Springfield, Illinois, and it was kind of cool. You were introducing me to all your new friends, and so that part was really cool for me. I enjoyed that, but I would love to be able to do, and the whole 1,000 miles. I think it'll be fun. I told you, I go on my stock Road King. I'm going to make your stuff look so good.
Yeah, actually, that was kind of one of the big drives of finishing this green bike here I didn't want to go ride a stock bike with all these guys. So, there was actually, quite a few people. I think they called us all the long riders that rode the whole thing from beginning to end. You got an award and a plaque and all that kind of stuff at the end of it. But there's about 320 people that actually did the thing from start to finish. So I think it doubled from last year, which it actually went right through the heart of Indiana last year, and we just didn't know about it. It went from Bowling Green, Kentucky up through Anderson. So I wish I would have known about it last year. I'd definitely been on it. They're right in our backyard. Yeah.
No doubt. Well, I know I was extremely proud when I went out there and I saw your bike sitting with all these other bikes out there, and I was just so proud to say, hey, I know him. I know this guy right here. And to me, it was just so cool to see that. And again, to meet some of these guys that I thought would be a little, I don't know, maybe uppity or whatever, they're stars, and so they're not going to have time. And yet they were just normal people. They hung out with everybody. They were right there. I mean, you could talk to any of them that you wanted to, and they took time for you. And I just thought that was pretty cool, man. Like I said, I hope next year that we can go with you the whole way.
Most definitely, yeah. We're definitely going to make plans for it, and we'll see how things work out. But I'm ready to build another bike just to go do it, that's for sure.
Right on. Well, man, I appreciate you taking time to talk to us. I'm glad you went out. I'm glad you had a good time. Glad your bike did good out there for everybody to see. And who knows what's going to happen from here. You get rich and famous, don't forget us, okay?
I don't think that'll happen, but it was nice to get some opportunities. I did get some offers for a couple features in different magazines, so we'll see how things go from there. You got to start somewhere.
Right on, and that's Indiana's own Chris Krampe with Krambos Kustom Colors. Well, when you're getting dumped with ice water, that's the one time I do not want to be naked, okay? Last thing any guy wants to hear is, nothing to see here, folks. All right, Steel Horse Thunder, we are answering our ALS Ice Bucket Challenge from Southside Harley-Davidson. We are here at Krambos Kustom Color, and before we do it, I want to call out my good friend, Bubba Blackwell.
And I want to call out beautiful Jenny DeVoe. And I'm going to call out sponsor of Steel Horse Thunder, Mark Landorf, along with a couple of my personal friends, Matt Thompson, Nathan Boyer, and John Strokes. All right, Scott.
All right, I guess we've said enough. I guess we're ready. Gentlemen, whenever you're ready.
One more time.